channel. I got hacked years ago, and I had so many followers, and I had to build it up. I was a little distracted, but I'm getting ready to get back on the YouTube.
Right.
For the most part, most of my social media stuff goes through Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter.
Right.
But I got to step my YouTube game back up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Snapchat.
Snapchat. Oh man, I should have bought them. I got those Snapchat goggles.
Oh, you have
Those
the
Snapchat
Snapchat
glasses.
glasses.
Yeah. I didn't want to be that guy and bring me like, oh, this dude is extra, but it's like those things can get real perverted. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you could do a lot of you could videotape a lot of stuff in 10 seconds.
Right.
But that's all I need. But that's all I need now. 10 seconds, right?
It's
You know your
encounters.
sex life is if you got if you can put your sex life on Snapchat.
Yeah.
You like, yo, I'm a big sweetheart. I'm only gonna do this 10 seconds at a time.
Right.
You know?
That's it.
But
Well,
it's no
back
way
in the day,
around.
you were putting it on Vine. That was only 6 seconds at a time, so it's better.
No, Vine was 3. Was it 6 or 3?
Six.
Was it
6 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever happened to Vine? Did it get eaten up by something and then it's gone?
I think musically, didn't it?
Musically?
Oh,
I don't know what happened, but you know, all those sites, like, you know, as much as people talk trash about it, like Facebook is for the older crew or whatever.
Yeah.
Everybody graduates to Facebook.
Right.
And Facebook is so smart. It's like if they have something hot, it's like, guess what? First thing we'll do is like, here's $2 billion. Let's take that from you.
Yeah.
They couldn't do it with Snapchat. I'm quite sure they made offers to Snapchat.
Yeah.
Snapchat was like, we're our own thing, but
Yeah, we're
they
our
said
own thing.
Instagram, they snatch up everything now.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's it.
But you know, there's no way around it. Like people make the argument like, you know, older folks. I was like, yeah, back in the day. But the thing that I do like about social media is that it kind of eliminates the immediate need to have a manager and an agent. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? You could get yourself seen
Yes.
by just being in front of your, not even laptop anymore. You got these kids out here now are making names for themselves just on their phone now.
That's it.
And there's no way around it. It's like no way to fight. Only thing I can say for any young guys or listening, whatever, I know you can be a YouTube sensation and all that, but at least work on your skill set.
Right.
You know what I mean? You're gonna have eyeballs on you, whatever. Especially in the field of stand up. Nobody wants to go. You packing a room out, and you only have the time that you have, like 10 seconds or 15 seconds. Practice your skill, practice your craft, so when it all comes together, you'll be ready and you can just kill the game.
That's true. And as a matter of fact, somebody asked me yesterday for advice. He has a cousin, lives up north, you know, what to do, how to get his song on the radio. And I said, dude, it's not easy, but, you know, here's some things that you should do. Have him do some shows, you know, obviously
Right.
in the local area that he lives in. Get a YouTube channel, put some videos out there. It doesn't
Right.
even have to be anything high tech or anything.
Right.
It doesn't even have to be. I have a friend of mine who literally just has his name and like logo, and songs play underneath it, and the only thing that does is the logo changes color. That's it.
Right.
But the song is out there.
Yeah, but it's
He's
so
got
many
tons of views on YouTube.
There's so
with that.
many creative ways to get yourself on nowadays.
Yeah.
Like having an excuse, I need a manager and everything. All you need to do is be creative.
Yeah.
All you need to be is creative and have some type of work ethic. In this business, I mean, talent only takes you so far.
Yeah.
But your dedication, your work ethic is what really takes you over the top. And I'll give you a perfect example. I remember years ago, Kevin Hart is a perfect example of it. Is that I remember I used to produce comedy shows. When you first start, you're not making a lot of money. I remember paying Kevin Hart a $50 spot here, a $100 spot here.
Yeah.
And people make argument like Kevin Hart's not the funniest guy out there. But what I will say about Kevin Hart, I'm not saying he's not the funniest guy out there. I'm saying this is what people say. But his work ethics, you couldn't touch him. Like he worked when people were asleep. You know what I'm saying? Another thing that he did was he always made his fans a part of his journey. Always had appreciation for his fans, always shouted them out. And I mean, he went from that guy that passing out the cards at your table to get your email address like one at a time,
Right.
to look where he is in his career now. So
Yeah, he did
and
great.
he was as much talent as he has. His work ethics were like
Drive.
100% bigger than
Because talent
his
will only
was.
take you so far.
Exactly.
You
And
gotta have drive.
Yep.
You
gotta
don't have drive, then you're just sitting there on the couch
combination.
with a bunch of talent.
How many people we know? Like you can probably name a million musicians that were like, man, they were so dope. What happened to them? Oh, they got caught up in drugs. The women took control of their lives. All type of stuff. But work ethics and talent, and you can make you in this business. If you stay in it long enough, you'll get an opportunity. But who's going to be prepared for the opportunity when it knocks?
Yeah.
You got to be ready.
That's it.
When that 95-mile-an-hour fastball comes down there, you got to hit it out of the park.
You do everything, right? You're into
Not guys.
obviously,
Nothing
That's
is
one
wrong.
time.
No disrespect to the guys that do guys, but I'm not the
Right.
guy that do guys.
Yeah. You're not
But-
that guy.
yeah.
Right. No, but I mean, you do obviously performing and acting in
Yeah.
shows and in movies, and you do voiceover and you writing and producing, and you got your hands in everything. Right.
Yeah, but my foundation, the thing that I live off of is stand up.
Yeah.
You know, if I was an actor, I would be broke.
That was the first thing. The stand-up was like the first love.
Stand-up.
And that's what led to everything else.
Stand up led to everything. I was doing stand up. I was doing stand up, and years ago I said, my stand up is 3-dimensional. I'm not just telling jokes.
Yeah.
I'm creating characters. So
Story.
I came up with a sketch group. I was like, I wanted to make my stand up come to life, and once I came up with the sketch group, I had no acting experience. I just had a group of people that I used to get together. We used to write and perform sketches, and the sketches made me want to take acting class, and it made me excited about acting. And then I started, like years ago, I was getting a lot of acting work.
Yeah.
For some reason, like it's a tough thing to crack, like being a regular actor.
Oh, yeah.
But the thing that I know I'm in control of,
Getting on a regular series
yeah,
is tough.
it's tough. But I'm a stand-up comic. You know, I've been fortunate enough to create a brand enough where people will come and see me do stand-up. I'm a road rat.
Absolutely.
With my kid now, it's like I'm a road rat. I wasn't really crazy about the Hollywood thing because I'm like, I can still go make good money on the road.
Yeah.
But now with my son,
Work a few days a week.
exactly. Now with my son, I have to reintroduce myself to Hollywood because I want to be able
You
to
want to be home on the weekends.
I want to be home I want to be home all week.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The only way you have that situation if you have your own TV show or if you're on a movie set. So I'm kind of balancing everything. But until that happens, you'll see me at the Off the Hook comedy clubs. You'll see me at the Improvs. You'll see me traveling the country telling jokes.
What are you working on as far as other stuff goes? Like some TV stuff? You working on anything like that?
I'm trying to slide into not trying. That's an ugly word in this business. I'm starting to do more on the producing side.
Yeah.
Trying to develop.
That's where it's at.
Create my own opportunities. But I'm just like I'm a road rat. You know, between working with Dave and doing my own gigs, like I'm out like 40 or 45 weeks a year, and just trying to position myself just to be able to. I want to be. Method Man said this years ago. I'm tired of being the chump in the front. I want to be the Mac in the back.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like there's one thing to be on a show, but if you position yourself where you can develop and create shows, that's another thing. So, but I will encourage people to pay your cable bill because I will be on the cable channel somewhere this fall. So
Cable channel.
Yeah, cable.
Yeah.
Network is one thing. Cable is better opportunity.
Oh yeah, and then there's so many different avenues too. There's streaming services.
Everything is streaming now.
Netflix is huge, obviously, right?
Yeah.
And they're
Netflix-
developing a lot of shows.
Like Netflix, they're throwing, especially in the stand-up arena.
Yeah.
I mean, you have like Chris Rock just got a deal. I'm not comparing myself to Chris Rock. I'll get there in terms of the money I command. Chris Rock just got $40 million for two specials.
And isn't Chris Rock and Dave Chappelle doing a special together, or doing some sort of a thing together?
They're doing radio. They're doing Dave is doing a residency at Radio City Music Hall in August, and Chris Rock is one of the special acts that's going to do a show with him. This mix up is like music. Chris Rock is doing one. Ali Wong is doing one. I'll probably open for like, they're doing like 14 dates. I'll probably get like 7 or 8 of them. I'll be around.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but I mean, the money is out there. With the work, the money is out there. Dave Chappelle, as much as people say, how do you know, this is one thing I say about this dude. His integrity and his morals, he felt uncomfortable about, I guess, the relationship he had with the network or whatever, Comedy Central.
Yeah.
Dude passed on $50 million. And then 10, 11 years later, come back, you get another $60 million deal.
Yeah.
With comedy, with Netflix for 3 specials.
2 specials, yeah.
No, 3.
Three.
Yeah.
He dropped 2 so far.
He dropped 2. And the beauty of that is that the 2 he dropped, he already had in the can.
Yeah, at the same time.
Yeah, like bam, bam. People, the dude is dope.
Yeah.
You know? And I'm proud to say he's a good friend of mine. You know what I mean? Past the working relationship, Dave was just a stand-up, just a humble guy. Like every time I work with him, I always tell him, I said, I don't take things for granted. And I appreciate the platform you created for me, for people to see what I've been doing for years.
Yeah.
And every time I say that, he's like, yo, Donnell, you bring so much to the table. Thank you for being down with me. So, a lot of people, they just think it's all about him. Like, okay, you're whatever. But the dude is just a great guy.
There's a friendship and there's a working relationship there.
Yeah,
which
and our
obviously
friendship,
gets cultivated over
is
time.
our friendship is way bigger than our working relationship.
Now, did you meet him out on the road while you doing stand-up?
No, we were like we're both DC comics.
Yeah.
So if you're from a certain town or whatever, people that's making noise, because you look up to him. I'm older than Dave.
Is there like a competition as far as that goes? Like
Healthy competition.
Right.
It's all good. Like one thing I would say about DC when I was coming up, it's like, you had friends, but like if you went on before a comedian, you were trying to destroy him.
Yeah.
You were trying to make it work. You didn't take the easy route. You know,
Yeah.
like I've worked with guys that's like, yo, I'm gonna leave you nothing, and I'm like, well, you don't have to leave me nothing because I'm gonna take everything.
Yeah.
Even me and Dave on the road, like our inside joke, Like I was on the road with him last week. We did like 10 shows in Atlanta, and he was like, "Dude, can you not get a standing ovation?" I'm like, "Look, this is what we do."
Yeah.
But one thing I can respect about him is some comics, if you have too much heat in front of them, they don't want to work that hard.
Yeah.
They'd rather get like a soft opener just so they can make them look bigger. But Dave is like, yo, like that's how we are. Like if you're trying to be the heavyweight champion in the world, you want to spar with people that not giving you competition. You want to spar with people that can put you on your ass.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? How you gonna get strong? The person that's making you do push-ups and jumping jacks before, not the person where you can sit back, smoke a cigarette, and sip on coffee, and eat donuts.
I
You
like
need
that personal trainer.
You know, you want that person that's gonna bring you heat. And never like when I'm working with him, he knows I'm gonna bring fire, which makes him step his game up. When we were doing Chappelle Show, we did a tour, down Rich Bitch tour years ago. We started in like 2006. And on that tour was me, R.I.P. Charlie Murphy, good friend of mine, love him.
Man, yeah.
Rest in peace. That was tough.
That's really
and every
tough.
day is tough. But we had a tour where Charlie Murphy was the MC, Bill Burr
Love
was
Bill
the
Burr.
feature, and I was the headliner.
Yeah.
And I tell people, I was like, you want to test your chops in this game, try coming behind, come behind the phenom of Charlie Murphy, the stand-up strength of Bill Burr,
Right.
every night for a year.
Yeah, that's
Bill
tough.
Burr would
That's like
do-
school.
Bill Burr would do the show, and people were ready to be like, okay, good night. And he would take it to one place, and every night, I didn't have a night that I could take off. Every night Bill Burr would kill it. I still had to step it up. And you
Bring
look
it
at
back up again, yeah.
Bill Burr is one of the biggest name in comedies right
hard
now.
to
I have to
do.
do that every week. So
Hard to
you know, you
follow
got
Bill
to test
Burr.
yourself. Yeah,
For sure.
it could get done, though.
That's an education. Now, every comic too, growing up, you know, obviously they have comedians and comedy material that they liked, right? You know,
Yeah.
there were comedians that you liked, comedy shows that you liked. What were you exposed to growing up?
Like
that
I
got you
just
into
liked every type. I never thought I was going to do stand-up comedy.
Yeah.
But I was a huge fan of stand-up comedy. I was a huge fan of different comics for different reasons. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I was a fan of George Carlin on his social commentary.
I like
You know what I'm
that.
saying? And he could say anything he wanted because he believed in it.
Mm-hmm.
I used to love watching Louis Anderson because Louis Anderson wasn't a physical comic. He was a
Anderson.
wordsmith. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like Louis Anderson could just stand still. He didn't have to move.
Right.
And he could create these characters that were just so dope.
Right.
I loved Richard Pryor for how raw he was, and Richard Pryor was like just the start of everything to me that was right in comedy. His life was, everything was probably wrong in comedy.
Right, that's for sure.
Martin Lawrence, when I first saw Martin Lawrence perform, I think I started a year after that, I first saw Martin Lawrence, I was like, this dude is talking about around the way stuff.
Yeah.
Martin Lawrence was saying, like when I watched Martin Lawrence, I was like, I thought of that. I really loved Robin Harris, because Robin Harris had a style like, he could kill you with a stock joke.
Yeah.
He could go on the audience and rock you. He could just riff on the audience. He just had one of those, like Robin Harris was one of those like uncles, you know, like everybody, you go to a family reunion, everybody knows this story.
Yeah.
You know, but we don't want to hear it from everybody. We want to hear it from Uncle Robin. You know what I'm
Right,
saying? Like, I love that about him.
Yeah, he was great like that.
Like it was like,
He was a comedy uncle.
yeah, I was
a great way
he
to
was.
describe
I
it,
was
yeah.
so. I was just so excited about every type of comedy. Like even like the sarcastic, dry humor type of comedians.
Yeah.
Like Jerry Seinfeld. Jerry Seinfeld to me is not a performer. He's a wordsmith. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah.
you like Jerry Seinfeld. If you see him do stand up, if you like had his transcript and you want everything like his stuff would read funny.
Right.
Certain comic stuff won't read funny. So, like, I always appreciate every facet of stand-up. And I think that's what kind of helped me be such a well-rounded comic with so many different fighting styles.
And did you have like a lot of exposure to any like the sketch shows, like SNL, Mad TV, any of those?
Yeah, I used to watch, like, all those shows. I wasn't like a huge SNL fan. You know what I mean? Nothing to do with race, but In Living Color. That's right, because we had more black people on it. You know what I'm saying? But I was like,
That's a great sketch show.
I was a huge fan of In Living Color, but I was a huge fan of what I consider one of the greatest sketch shows of all time, Dave Chappelle Show.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was dope. And one thing, when we were working on that show, like I forgot that I was working. Like we would work 17-hour days, 18-hour days, and it never felt like work.
Yo, not
That one time, I forgot.
fun.
Sometimes I had to remind myself, you know, you got to get paid for this. You know, and even when we were doing that show, like if you were to take an editor were to like edit, like how much time I was on that show, put it into like one reel, it probably total dialogue. I probably was on the show for 7 minutes.
Yeah, total.
They didn't give me a lot, so I knew that whenever you saw me, you had to laugh at me on sight.
That's the thing.
Like, even with the Ashy Larry character, like, that guy wasn't ashy. I was like, I told Dave, I was like, he was just Larry on paper. And I was like, I want to be so ashy that I could write how much money people owe me on the side of my leg.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that birthed Ashy Larry. And another thing, this is a lesson for the young guys coming up. You got to be willing to do the things that the next person won't do and go above and beyond.
Yeah.
Like, out of a
Like
6
running
day.
around in a diaper with a bunch of baby powder on your body.
Yeah, it wasn't a diaper, it was boxer shorts. Okay?
Right, that's it.
That's where I would have drawn the line. That would have been a deal breaker.
Yeah.
But it was times where we would have our work day was 6 days. And like, if I was on a schedule for 2 days, 4 days, even when I wasn't working, I would go to work. I would just go on set because that time I didn't have any money. So I knew I could eat for free all day.
Oh yeah, craft services.
I could learn more, and I knew there would be a chance where Dave would see me like, yo, you want to get, because it was that casual.
Right.
Like, he would just see me like, yo, you want to get a part of it. There was so many of the sketches that I wasn't even supposed to be there, but
would
because I
imagine.
was there,
Yeah.
I was part of the show.
I'd always imagine that about that show. It was like, okay, who's on set and constantly rewriting, even if it's like in a spur of the moment, like in your head type of thing. Like,
Yeah.
this will be funny to do right here, right now, as part of this, even though it wasn't originally written or written at all that way.
Like that sketch when we did Black Butch sketch, when it looked like I was like medicated. I won't say hi, but it looked like I was medicated. I was
It's medication now.
Yeah, when I was medicated and I was eating Cheetos, I was literally in the green room medicated, eating Cheetos. Yo, it was like I was like wardrobe. I'm just gonna walk up there.
Right.
And then he just called me. That crazy velour sweatsuit I was wearing, that was the sweatsuit I had, and it was because the person they had wasn't really doing what he was supposed to do, and that scene was like this. Is Dave Chappelle? He killed my father, son. When like I spilled the coffee everywhere, I was actually sitting in the back. They fired somebody.
Yeah.
I sat down and we just made it. And Dave knew. People always say, Donnell, if it wasn't for the Dave Chappelle show, where your career would be, I think I would still be in a good place.
Oh, yeah.
But at the same time, Dave created a platform for me to do what I've been doing for years.
Yeah.
And the only reason I was on that show because I produce. You know what I'm saying? Now I compare it to sports. Like, you can be the sixth man. You're going to get a shot. But when you get in the game, you got to hit a three-pointer. You got to get a block.
Yeah.
You got to get a steal. You got to do something for the
If not, you're
coach.
sitting on the bench.
You're back on the bench. And every time that he would put me in, I would do something and gave them a reason to want to put me in again. So
It's
it was hard
amazing.
work. Yeah.
You did. You made an incredible impression in a very, very short amount of time on that show. And you had to have known, too, right? I mean, you probably, I'm sure, saw the day when you were walking through the airport just as you normally would, and things are, you get maybe a couple fans approach you, but then something had to have changed, right?
It was interesting for me because the first season, nobody knew my name because they never said my name on the show.
Yeah,
I
it's
was
kinda uncredited
Yeah,
almost.
I was like the guy in the boxers, the guy with the wig. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, it's so hard to be recognized for anything. So I was happy with people calling me Ashy Larry.
Yeah.
Now, I was happy with people calling me beautiful. But I knew I had to work hard for people to start knowing my name. And it wasn't until the part of the third season when we did the monster sketch where I played the mummy. The first time people knew my name, it was like, and Donnell Rawlins as the mummy.
Yeah.
So I was excited about it. I was like,
That's
okay,
not
now I'm starting to get the transition from the character actor to it. But then I started doing other things, like I was on Guy Code. I did a lot of other things, but I knew it was going to take a time. So I felt the change from Ashy Larry. Then people started calling. They was like, Donnell Rawlins. And I was like, okay, I'm starting to get my own brand. Because now when I go on the street, I start hearing people, they're saying my name. And not only just to say my name, they're pronouncing it right.
Right.
They're like Donnell Rawlins. And the only way that happens if people hear your name and they see you and hear you do another thing. Will I ever be a part of another show like Dave Chappelle? That's an iconic show.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? People like this, you haven't done nothing since Chappelle Show. I've done Guy Code.
Oh, yeah.
I've done The Wire. I've done a lot of other things, but that show was so huge. I never fight it. I never get pissed. I've done everything. Don't call me that,
Yeah,
because at the end of the day,
They don't know.
you buying a ticket to see Ashley Larry or Donnell Rawlins,
It doesn't really matter.
But it's important for you to just keep working, and you keep creating a body of work where people know your name. And now I'm starting to see that people know. At one time, they only knew Ashley Larry. And people still know Ashley Larry, but at the same time, they know both Donnell Rawlings and Ashley Larry. And I'll bring it together, and you come and see me, and we're going to tear the roof down.
That's it. Off the Hook Comedy Club all this weekend. It's been a lot of fun hanging out with you, man. It always is. Right?
Yeah, it's always
I'm glad
fun
you
to
came.
come up here, yeah.
It's always a good time.
As long as I
Donnell
don't get bit
Rawlings.
by no alligators, I'm going to win.
You better run to your car. Donnell Rawlings this weekend, Off the Hook Comedy Club tonight through Sunday. Call them 389-6901 or just buy the tickets online at offthehookcomedy.com. But man, blessings to you and your family and
Thank you.
Your beautiful son.
Thank
And we wish you future.
If you love Guy Cody, if you love The Wire, if you love Chappelle's Show, if you love Law and Order, if you love anything I do, I guarantee you, come to the live stand-up show, you become a huge fan. Off the Hook Comedy Club is just like it says. It's off the hook, bitch. If you don't like it, take it in the face.
There you go. Donnell Rawlings. We'll be back.